in this section, we're going to attack arm locks from all different positions. Most of them are spinning, but what we're going to do is we're going to do high repetition. High repetition builds muscle memory, and what you want to do is you want to drill these as many times as possible so you can get them ingrained in your muscle memory. Therefore, when they pop up or come out somehow, you're going to get them. One thing with the arm locks, there's a few ways. You can attack and take the arm lock, or you can force the person to give you the arm lock by pressure or by asphyxiation. Any way you could put pressure on them, any way you can choke them, a lot of times they're going to give you that arm in order for them to escape. This is for the basics, so my key now, there's a few different ways we take the arm. In the next tape series, what we're going to do is we're going to do more advanced attacks, but what we want to do again is get these ingrained into our muscle memory. Therefore, we're going to add all the drills that we can do to actually get to the position to take the lock, and then the variations will come out as time progresses. So this is called mount position. Now the key here is that you keep your knees as high as you can underneath his elbows, your hands down, your head up, your toes are in, your butt's out. Okay, so what he's going to do for this drill now, for me to attack this arm, is I'm going to keep my hips forward. This is just a basic drill. So he's going to place one arm just like this across his chest, and his other arm he's going to try to start to push me. I'm going to take two hands and I'm going to split this like this. My hand's going to remain up. There's three positions. Number one is here, number two is here, and number three is I spin all the way around. Now when I take this, I never want to fully extend his arm because I'm doing high repetition. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end up giving him tendinitis here. So I just want to take it to the point I want to pull it, release it, watch my legs kick off, just like this, just like this. My legs are going to just step right back over, and I'm going to remount. So immediately he gives me that arm. I push, head up, and spin, kick off, and remount, just like this. Notice how my weight goes directly to his chest. Then I kick off and remount, just like that. These are the basic arm lock attacks from the mount. The last attack was from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The second attack now from mount is from Shuto. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this hand, we're going to weave this arm, we're going to grab the tricep. As we do this, we're going to head up, lift up, and we're going to push the face. So I'm just going to turn, look at my right knee, push his face, step and loop, grab both hands. So in case he grabs his wrists, I grab both, pull, and take it off. Ooh. And kick off and come back up and remount. Okay, from right here again, pull this up, grab the elbow, pull it cross center line. My hand goes across his face just like this. Usually we use a fist because there's no chance here. Look at, I pull him up, we call bow and arrow method. Right from here, my leg loops over his head, grab both arms just to secure so he doesn't grab, pull, kick off, and then step, and then remount. Again, bow and arrow method. 1, pull it across center line. 2 and 3, pull it, kick off, remount. Notice I'm holding the top of the head. That's so he doesn't shimmy his elbows down. Okay. Hook, fist, scoop, pull off, and remount. That's the bow and arrow method. Okay, from this position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my weight on him. From right here, I'm going to keep my hips up. I'm going to take two hands, because he's here. Maybe I start to hit him. I take two hands, I push it down. I bring my elbow down, I bring my hand down, bring my hooks inside. My head remains down. I never lift this. I always slide it down. His wrists will be in the same line as his shoulders here. Bridge. Look at that, head's already down. I'm already locking that arm. Beautiful. So, what I do again is I go for the V arm lock. If my arm's out here, he can push my hips away and he can go and escape his hips. No good. Okay. So from here, again, two hands, boop, elbow, offsets his head, slide, hooks in, head down, slide it down. There's my V-arm. Now, as I go for this lock, he naturally will turn up on his side and grab his wrist. This is his counter, which puts me into the next position, which is called side mount position. One, hook, step and loop, and then come back to here. V-arm, he turns his side, grabs his wrist. Look at it, keep that pin, hook, head up, loop your leg over, hook, hold both arms, kick off, and come back. Go. And kick off and come back. Like that. Kick off and come back. Okay, cross-body attack. Number one, what I'm going to aim for here is this underhook. If I can get the underhook, I'm going to arm lock him. So, right from here, look at, I want this position. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so from right here, there's a couple things I'm going to do. So the first basic attack from here is I'm going to rip this down as fast as I can, like this. And as I do this, I'm going to put my body weight down on it, and then I'm going to start to go here. He naturally will straighten that arm out. Come back. This is actually what I want. That's what I want. One more time. So from right here, let's say he's got his hands clasped. He's going to wait to bridge me. Someone who's real tight on you keeps his head tight, and he's tight here. I know he's just waiting to bridge. This is what he wants to do, is bridge me like that, okay? So my key, when he's tight like this, is to break that grip. So what I do is I take my arm and I back swim it. I put my shoulder into his face. I take my arm and I slowly bring it across his face. And look at his nose. I flatten his nose, bring it down, grab the trapezius, put my forearm to his chest and slowly break the grip. Now look at body weight and forehead. That will allow me to go for the V-arm lock. Now what I want to do is slide this down, but most of the time he'll straighten it out. Damn. So I just go for the straight, relax, figure four, arm lock right here. Okay, again. So from right here, again, break the grip, shoulder, forearm. Break the grip with the forearm on the neck. Look where my fingers are, nice and tight to his head. Bring it down and up. Bring this down, look at my forehead. And then go straight for the V-arm lock. Most guys immediately will straighten it. Just switch your hands. Hand on top, hand here. Make sure you cover his shoulder, because look at his shoulder lifts good. So I just go from here. See that? Look at this. See his shoulders lifting? Put your armpit above his shoulder and then slowly relax. Straighten that arm out. He's going to try to bridge. Okay. Control. Forearm. Break. This is a chicken wing or a hammer lock. This is a straight arm lock. I go around the elbow. So instead of under the shoulder, I go under his elbow and I just straighten it out here. And I can keep my hand up just like that or around, either way is fine. I'm just going to place it this way. The key, see his shoulders moving, is that I isolate that shoulder and then really straighten that arm. Okay, now from right here. Number two is I go back to here. And from right here, I'm going to take this. I can actually attack it one way by pulling this down and try to take it this way. But this time, all I'm going to do is just bring this across, hold his shoulder, bring my elbow into his sternum here, keep all my weight on him. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bring my right knee up, step over his head, post, and spin, and keep it tight, and arm lock him. Which will give me the other side now. Okay, from right here. So again, I've got the hook. I grab the top of the shoulder. Look at the top of the shoulder. I place my elbow in his sternum. I keep my hips on the ground. I should be really heavy. Watch his face. I put my elbow here. What? Okay, that's heavy, as opposed to this. But this is okay too. This is another way I can put my knee here and start to attack. Okay. Again, I want to pull him up on the side. I like to stuff the head, step, and pin, and go for the arm lock. And then I kick back off, and I come back up to here. Look at, he's giving me that arm again. Okay, from right here, again, same thing. Grab the shoulder,
Put my elbow on his sternum. I like to keep my hips down and keep my body weight on him. And from here, pop up to my knee. Stuff his head, step and spin, lock. Come back up, underhook, hold the top of the shoulder, elbow in the sternum, knee on the belly. This is another variation. Stuff his head, step, and arm lock. Come back up. From right here, hook the shoulder, body weight in, knee on belly. See this good pin controlling position. Take his head, stuff it into you, push it down, step over, post so you don't fall, pinch your knees, and arm lock. This is the spinning guard, the spinning arm lock. Your guard will open up, your legs will open up, and you will spin for the arm lock in this position. A person will try to punch you, so you're going to cover and try to get a hold of both wrists for vale-tudo or submission fighting. For submission wrestling, you want to control the elbows. You can transition from the wrist to the elbow at any time for submission fighting or submission wrestling. I prefer for submission wrestling to control more on the elbows. For submission fighting, I control the wrist more so I can't get punched, or so I can control his hands from hitting my face. Now, when I take my hand and I place it underneath his leg, I'm going to bring my head to his leg as fast as I can, spin and snap my legs over his head. And the reason I'm bringing my head to his leg fast is so, number one, he cannot punch my face. Number two, it's because it's a surprise and you'll get more propulsion of a lift from bringing your arm underneath here, bringing that leg, keeping it tight on his back, on his lat, and bringing that leg over his head and hipping up. Notice you have independent suspension here. Each leg has a different part. The bottom leg stops him from lifting. The top leg controls his head, up balances him. And hips up to lock the elbow. So you're going to reach under, spin, snap, and bring it back and cross your feet. You can do this individually to develop the technique, or you can actually spin back and forth, left and right, to create the momentum. So I would prefer to first learn the technique by just doing it individually and coming back to a closed guard position. My hand goes underneath his leg extremely fast. Notice my head hits his leg, offset his body with my bottom leg, top leg comes over his head, and then I hip up to lock that on there. Notice I'm keeping my legs nice and tight and I hip up. And all I do to lock him there is I would lift his leg just a little bit or enough so I won't get locked. Never cross your feet. If you cross your feet, you're not controlling his body. The only time you cross your feet is if he happens to stack you. Cross your feet and open your legs as wide as you can. Therefore, you can lock his arm on your hip joint there. Okay, so when you have control of the wrists or the elbows, the hand darts fast underneath that leg. You spin in a ball on an axis. If you stay flat, your body's too slow and it doesn't spin. So you want to ball up as tight as you can and spin fast. Now there's three ways that you can actually get your hips out from here. Number one is by putting your foot on his hip, using your leg, and off balancing his body. Number two is putting your foot on the floor and off balancing his body. You need to go right and left so you develop the inside thigh muscles from this. The last one that you would do from here would be open your legs and spin in the guard. This is done independently without using your hands. Okay, now I'm just using my legs here. Just using my legs, foot on the floor. The last one, see how I spin without using anything to spin me? I just kick my body out and use my legs. Open my legs wide, spin and use my hamstring. Underhook and spin, and underhook and spin. This will create the momentum for you to off balance his body. Now you put it all together and you create the drill called spinning arm lock. And when I open my legs, I use that momentum when I take my leg off to spin and keep spinning around his body here so I can work the drill over and over. And I would like to rep out about anywhere from 50 to 100 techniques. In the guard now, 6 count, arm lock. Arm drag, grab his neck. This position here, he puts his head down. I lift my elbow. He pulls away. I hold it, so it's very secure.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which goes to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, common mistake a lot of people make here is that they do this and they push the head here. See how they abandon this and they push the head? If I do this, he pulls his arm out. Oh, okay. If I want him to pull his arm out, I'm going to push his head like that. If I want him to pull that arm out because I want this arm, that's fine. But if you want that arm, in the 6-count arm lock, you pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's break it down to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 2. 1, 2. Okay, and that's it. Again, grab so you're actually forming an X. So sometimes we refer to this lock as an X arm lock. Okay, this last one I like to use because of volley judo, and a lot of people keep their head down. Great for me, because if they keep their head down, a lot of times they don't really want to try to pass your guard, so they keep their head down. So what I'll do is I'll pull their head down and keep it down, try to lift their elbows into me as much as possible and push their head down. That will allow me to cross over their arms. So this is a high cross over his shoulders. So again, what I'm going to try to do is try to get his elbows up as much as I can. I'm going to kind of pull his head down, but push it down like this. This is going to allow me to kick my legs as fast as I can up over his shoulders like that. And now I'm going to go for the double arm lock. Don't ever, ever get caught with this. This is a burn your gi or burn your wrestling shoe lock. Okay. If you're a submission wrestler, if you're a jiu-jitsu or judo player, if you ever get caught with this, you should never get caught with this. But what I like to do is I start to go here and I push and I kick. Whoop. And as soon as I take this, I start to pull and the guy naturally starts to come into me. So watch my right hand. He comes in. Okay, watch my hand. I reach it under his leg. Now look at my legs loop off, and now I get the spinning arm lock. Look at he's falling. So guess what? His arm locks on the way before he hits the floor, and he comes back up. Again, from right here. Now if he's right here, I'm going to use his back as a ladder, like this. That's what I want. But what I like to do is just grab the top of his head and just cross like that. Okay. If he's choking me with two hands, some people do this, which is great, because all I do is I reach up and I pull my hands and pull his elbows across like this, and just cross here. And now look, like that. Sometimes you can do it this way, sometimes this way, and again, like I said, keep that leg tight and just loop over his head. He presses into me. I use this leg to off balance. Oh, his arm's already locking. Comes back up. Okay, again, hold his head, kick over. Sometimes we're just here, and you're just moving around, and sometimes even from right here, I just try to loop it over, and you might snag it. Okay, it's a chance, but if you don't take it, sometimes you won't catch it. Again, this is a high cross over his shoulders, and use your hips as high as you can, and he starts pressuring in, underhook this leg. This will give you the ability to rotate off balance and lock that arm as he's falling into the mat. Okay, now we're going to do north and south position, also known as Kami Shiho Gatami. North and south, 69. There's a lot of different names for this position. 10 and 12. Oops. 6 and 12 position. It doesn't matter the name as long as you know. North and south is just like this. Okay. Now, his legs are down. You have an option. You could go double over. You could go over under and double under. These are your options you're going to do. And there's more, but these are the three basic options. Over under, double over, double under. Okay. Most guys now are going to try to get their hands in my armpits like that and use their forearms into me and get their knees up like this. They're going to try to do that so they can spin. So my key now is to really offset his head and keep my weight into him. So if I have an overhook,
sometimes I'm not going to, probably for basics, I'm not going to go for the arm lock quite as much. I can, but what I would try to do is get an underhook. If I can have an underhook here, now I'm going to arm lock him. Okay, so what I'm going to do from right here. Again, I'm either going to keep on my knees and hold him, or I'm going to offset, keep my body next to his head and offset his head. When he's off balance, my legs are going to be wide. I'm going to be on my toes as much as I can. My body weight's going to be into him because I know he's going to try to bridge or spin to get out of here. Okay? All right, so from right here, my hand comes underneath, just like this, underneath the body, comes under his armpit. And I'm going to bring this arm around just like this and keep the body weight. And as I do that, I'm going to use all my body weight and turn him up on his side. Look at my hand goes to his face. I'm going to jump up. Look at my hips. I keep my hand here now. It's going to hold. And I'm going to use my elbow just like this on his side. Is that painful? And I keep my hips down and into him. My hand comes here. I jump up to my feet, squeeze my knees, and just bring it right to here. And I kick off, and I come right back to the same position again. Okay, so from right here, my hand's going to come across, use my body weight. This hand will now go to his opposite shoulder, just like this. So where the arm is, my hand stays here. I jump up to my feet, and arm lock, and come back. Sorry. Again. Bring it up, turn my body, hip down into him, hand across his face, jump up, arm lock. Bring my hand across, my body weight stays here, hand across, jump up to my feet, arm lock, kick off and come back. Okay, here I am. Okay, now, a lot of times when you're wrestling, you'll end up on a person's back. Very important now that you're going to attack two things. I attack the neck and I attack the wrist. And if I attack the neck and he defends, look at, he naturally gives me his wrist anyways. So now this will allow me to go into the spinning arm lock. So again, I'm on his back. There's two objectives. I'm either going to have him face down or face up. With him face up, as he is right now, this will give me the ability to take his arm. So what I really want is I want this choke. I want to get that choke. So if I'm lifting his head, that's one way, and I can short choke him here. Another way is I'm just going to punch this hand all the way through, and I'm going to face backwards, and then slide this hand in tight and squeeze, just like that. So when I start to do this, he defends, and he defends, and then he defends, just like that. Damn. Look at, he gives me this. Now look at, push his head, loop, and arm lock. Come back up. So now for the drill, I just hold his wrist, push his head, loop and arm lock. He sits up, sit back in, grab, come back, and back up, come back. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack his arms from a quarter position. There's a couple ways I can pull his arms out. I can get my hooks in. Let's say I'm on his back. We'll start out with the basics. The next tape series will have more advanced attacks from here. Okay, so from right here. Now the first attack I'm going to do will be from side position. So in a quarter position, it's also known as kami position. It's transitionary. Nobody will ever sit in this position because guess what? You're a soccer ball. Okay, so he's never going to stay here, but you'll go to your knees all the time. So the first thing I'm going to do now, there's three positions I'll usually attack from. One would be here, one would be here, and one would be here on the back. Okay, so from right here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my elbow in his back right here. Ooh, look at that. Or I'm going to place it in this right here. I'm going to take this finger and take this knuckle and jam it across his cheekbone like that. I'm going to grab his shoulder. I lift him up. I hook his arm, hold his shin bone right here. As I'm doing this now, look at, I just hold this and I hip down. If he wants to go face down, that's fine. Look at, I use my hip and my leg to arm lock him, like this. Okay, and then I come back up. Again, so again, I use Subo. Let's say Subo just to get his head up. I'm going to jam this across and hold his shoulder. Now, as I do this, I don't try to just hook him. I lift him, and then I hook him,
and as I hook him, I hold his shin bone. And usually the guy will start to sprawl right from here. And I just hip down on him and figure 4. Ooh, and hip down, come back up. At any given time now, when I start to do this, his arm will switch positions. So look at, I switch my legs. This hand now comes and I control this to this way. Okay. Again. So I bring this across. Okay. If his head's tight, how are you going to get it? Just use this. And then hit it across, pick him up, hook that arm. Now hip down. Look at it. Number 1 is hip here. Number 2 is he turns his arm. So I switch my legs. I bring my hand, blocking his hip, and now I just bring it backwards. Now, right after this, as a flow, I keep it tight, and I rotate back. I just come back in, and now I go for his arm here. Just for one lock right here, which is a armpit arm lock. Same thing now. 1, 2, 3, hook him, bring him down. 1, 2 as I switch my legs. 3 as I control and arm lock him here. Turns around the other way. And now I'll attack this arm. So again, I subo, cross face, lift, hook. From right here, after I hook, grab his leg. Now bring him up. 1. Number 2 as he turns and switches his arm. Elbow down, body weight down, just like this. Just use my legs. Look at, ooh, I can also just kick off and attack it here, or from right here, just rotate back in and control the arm and go for it right here. If he's in a quarter position, he's going to be blocking his neck, his body here, and his legs. He's got a good base, so I can't turn him over. Good. So watch, I hook his lat and I pull and get my hook in. Once my hook is here, watch this. This is my top arm. This is my bottom arm. This is my top arm. My top arm, once this hook is in, my top arm is going to hook and I'm going to latch it to the top of my leg here, like this. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to dive roll over my right, just like this, and hook him and bring him in and arm lock him. Yeah. Okay. So, quarter position right here. Again, I want to open him up and get this open here. So I put my weight way out here so I have a base. I pull him wide. See that? One more time. My hook's in. Perfect. He's going to come back in. Boom, look at, I hook this immediately. I bring this down. This is going to come here and I'm going to just dive roll. Just like that. And he comes back up. And I do the same on the other side. Post and hook in. Hook this here and same thing, dive roll. Hook this, bring it, and grab like that. Hook in. Hook in, dive roll over my left shoulder this time. And look at the arm lock. The key is getting my foot in somehow. 1, he moves. Boom, I'm hooking as he moves. Okay, and third way, again, is I just and lift him and hook in. Or another thing, looks funny, is I just put my feet here and I just wait. And I wait, and he starts to move, and my hooks just slip in. I'm in. Good. Okay, I get my hook in. Okay. Don't need both. I'm not trying to flatten him out. I want to take his arm. Again, same side, reaches in and I grab his wrist. Rip it out. As I do this, watch this leg now goes all the way across and my foot should come out on this side, like this. Post, look where my foot goes, all the way across his body. Post your forehead on the floor. If you're staying sideways, you're going to fall. Stay here. Now, all I do from right here is I'm going to push his head up and kick my leg in front and just dive roll. And take the arm. Again. Okay. Again, for some people these are intermediate to advanced. For others, these are beginning techniques. It depends on each player. Judo players, these are beginning techniques. For other people, these would be advanced techniques. So, again, I'm on his back and I hook that arm. Sometimes, if I'm here, and let's say he's defending this good, watch his hand jams through and I grab his wrist. I open and that gets my hook in. That's another way I can get it in. Post. 4, keep my base. Leg comes through. That leg remains really heavy and through. See on your forehead. 4, jams, push, dive roll, hook the arm. Okay, comes back up. Let him back up. Hook in. Oh, there's that hook. Same hand, grabs. Post, leg goes all the way through. Okay, push his head up. Leg in front, push and kick and dive roll and arm lock. Okay, now what we're going to do is, if you happen to be on your knees, you're either on top on your knees or bottom on your knees. If you're on the bottom, it means maybe you shot a double leg and you failed. Maybe he snapped you down and he was going to go to your back. So what you're going to do right off the bat is from right here. Let's say he grabbed the back of my head and he snapped me down from here. And now he comes around and body locks me with his hands around my body, just like this. Okay? Now, in order for me to lock this, number one, if he's on his knees, he really doesn't want to be on his knees, because if he's on his knees, that means I can attack his legs. So a lot of people will keep their hips down and they'll just hold you like this with a body vice. And this is real hard, actually, to get out of, unless you sit out. So when I sit out now, I'm going to lift my leg. From here, I'm going to just lift my leg and I'm going to wrap his arm at the same time. It's real basic. 1, 2. Now, the safety zone is right here. It's his hips. So if I can clear that, I'm going to get out. So what I do here is I lift 1, I wrap, and I sit with my head all the way back. He goes face down, and I arm lock him. Wrist lock him, chicken wing him. Good. Look at, oops. Oh, this is another lock there. Okay, one more time. Here I am in a quarter position. I'm on my hands and knees. He's got a body vice around my body. He's covering my head. Okay, so I'm going to fake. I'm going to fake and go to my other side, fake and fake. So as I do this, I lift, my head's up. As my head stays back, this will allow me to slide out and to take this lock. My arm lock is, again, the armpit armbar. 1, 2 would be chicken wing. 3 is wrist lock. 4 would be finger lock. Again, this is because he wasn't holding me quite so tight. If he holds me too tight, I'm gonna put him in a different position. So if he's holding me not quite so tight, when I loop this, my head drives him, and I lock him, and I lock him. Okay. If he holds me really tight, look at his body goes all the way over. He's gonna rebridge me, but I post. Now watch. I look to see. I'm looking to see where his hands are. Watch this. Body vice. Start to go for here and try to get for the chicken wing. Look at him trying to go for this. Like, it's almost like an accordion lock. I'm like trying to crumple this up and get this. Okay, so again, he's got me. I try to go for this. It's not working. I go, now look at, there's my reverse arm lock. Okay, let's say it's not working. I can't, he's too strong. He tries to bridge me. I just post and relax. Watch my left arm. I back swim. Okay, now watch. As I back swim, I just keep moving my body. I kick over, I mount. Now watch. Oh. Okay, so where I'm at. Watch this. Oh, is that an arm lock right there? Yeah, I'm using my body. You can use this. Okay, you can use this. Okay, or you can actually bring it back into across the V-arm lock attack. One more time. He bridges. Okay. Let's say I go for this and he lets go. Then I would go for this and try the V-arm lock, straight arm lock here, like that. He grabs it. He's too strong. Back swim. Look at it. This will give you this lock. Open. Look at it. Okay. Oh, what do you know? So he's going to place one arm just like this across his chest, and his other arm he's going to try to start to push me. I'm going to take two hands and I'm going to split this like this. My hand's going to remain up. There's three positions. Number one is here. Number two is here. And number three is I spin all the way around. That arm, I push, head up, and spin, kick off. This is just a basic drill. So he's going to place one arm just like this across his chest, and his other arm he's going to try to start to push me. I'm going to take two hands and I'm going to split this like this. My hand's going to remain up. There's three positions. Number one is here. Number two is here. And number three is I spin all the way around. Now when I take this, I never want to fully extend his arm because I'm doing high repetition. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end up giving him tendinitis here. So I just want to take it to the point I want to pull it, release it, watch my legs kick off, just like this, just like this. My legs are going to just step right back over, and I'm going to remount. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this hand, we're going to weave this arm, we're going to grab the tricep. As we do this, we're going to head up, lift up, and we're going to push the face. So I'm just going to turn, look at my right knee, push his face, step and loop, grab both hands. So in case he grabs his wrists, I grab both, pull, and take it off. As I go for this lock, he naturally will turn up on his side and grab his wrist. This is his counter, which puts me into the next position, which is called side mount position. One, hook, step and loop, and then come back to here. So from right here, again, break the grip, shoulder, forearm. Break the grip with the forearm on the neck. Look where my fingers are, nice and tight to his head. Bring it down and up. Bring this down, look at my forehead. And then go straight for the V-arm lock. Most guys immediately will straighten it. Just switch your hands. Hand on top, hand here. Make sure you cover his shoulder, because look at his shoulder lifts good. So I just go from here. Do that. Look at this. See his shoulders lifting? Put your armpit above his shoulder and then slowly relax. Straighten that arm out. The thing. Grab the shoulder, put my elbow on his sternum. I like to keep my hips down and keep my body weight on them. And from here, pop up to my knee. Stuff his head, step and spin, lock. Come back up, underhook, hold the top of the shoulder, elbow in the sternum, knee on the belly. This is another variation. Stuff his head, step, and arm lock. Come back up. From right here, hook the shoulder, body weight in, knee on belly. See, this is a good pin controlling position. Take his head, stuff it into you, push it down, step over, so you don't fall. Pinch your knees, and arm lock. Okay. In the guard now, 6 count, arm lock. Arm drag, grab his neck. This position here, he puts his head down. I lift my elbow. He pulls away. I hold it, so it's very secure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which goes to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. 1, 2, 3, and 2. 1, 2. Okay, so again, what I'm going to try to do is try to get his elbows up as much as I can. I'm going to kind of pull his head down, but push it down like this. This is going to allow me to kick my legs as fast as I can up over his shoulders like that. And now I'm going to go for the double arm lock. But what I like to do is just grab the top of his head and just cross like that. Okay? If he's choking me with 2 hands, some people do this, which is great. Because all I do is I reach up and I pull my hands and pull his elbows across like this, and it's crossed here. And now look. Okay. Now, his legs are down. You have an option. You could go double over. You could go over, under, and double under. These are your options you're going to do. And there's more, but these are the 3 basic options. My hand comes underneath, just like this, underneath the body, comes under his armpit. And I'm going to bring this arm around just like this and keep the body weight. And as I do that, I'm going to use all my body weight and turn him up on his side. Look at my hand goes to his face. I'm going to jump up. You look at my hips. I keep my hand here now. It's going to hold. And I'm going to use my elbow just like this on his side. Is that painful? And I keep my hips down and into him. My hand comes here. I jump up to my feet, squeeze my knees, and just bring it right to here. So now for the drill, I just hold his wrist, push his head, loop an arm lock. He sits up, sit back in, grab, and back, and back up, come back. Again, I use Subo. I say Subo just to get his head up. I'm going to jam this across and hold his shoulder. Now, as I do this, I don't try to just hook him. I lift him, and then I hook him. And as I hook him, I hold his shin bone. And usually the guy will start to sprawl right here. And I just hip down on him and figure 4. Ooh, and hip down, come back up. I hook his lat, and I pull and get my hook in. Once my hook is here, watch this. This is my top arm. This is my bottom arm. This is my top arm. My top arm, once this hook is in, my top arm is going to hook, and I'm going to latch it to the top of my leg here, like this. Now I'm going to take this, and I'm going to dive roll over my right, just like this, and hook him and bring him in and arm lock him. Again, I'm on his back, and I hook that arm. Sometimes, if I'm here, and let's say he's defending this good, watch his hand, jams through, and I grab his wrist. I open, and that gets my hook in. That's another way I can get it in. Post. Or keep my base. Leg comes through. That leg remains really heavy and through. Stay on your forehead. Forearm. Jams. Push. Dive roll. Hook the arm. Okay, comes back up. Let him back up. Hook in. Oh, there's that hook. Same hand. Grabs. Post. Leg goes all the way through. Okay. Push his head up. Leg in front. Push and kick and dive roll. And arm lock. From here, I'm going to just lift my leg, and I'm going to wrap his arm at the same time. It's real basic. 1, 2. Now, the safety zone is right here. It's his hips. So if I can clear that, I'm going to get out. So what I do here is I lift 1, I wrap, and I sit with my head all the way back. He goes face down, and I arm lock him. Wrist lock him. Chicken wing him. Look at, oops. Oh. No, this is... Sorry, Anthony. That's not me saying that. Ooh. Okay, all right. You hear any jingles? You ready? Ready?
You got your back, bro.
Those stink britches on the bottom here. Okay?
Erik.
Stinky pants, dirty diapers.
Mr. Combat Submissions Wrestling did it.
It's Mr. Stinko to you.
The Fultonator.
In this position.
Sheet, cadillo. Sheet. Look on, my name's done here for you.
Turn backwards.